Hi, what up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Jeannie, and you already know what it is. So let's just get into the energy, alright? Because Virgo, I've been picking up on your energy, I've been picking up on your aura, I've been picking up on your essence, the way that you show up in the world. And let me just tell you, it is unforgettable. Let's hop up into this energy, Virgo. You did something, okay? You did something, you said something, you showed up, and you were unforgettable. Virgo, I feel like there was something in your characteristics, there was something in your movement, in your choices, something that you said that really solved the problem because we have the energy of put the lime in the coconut and drink it all down. And then this was a risk underneath it. This is like you walking into the room and fixing the problem, fixing a problem that you see without any concern on how that will affect anybody else, right? Some people are people pleasers, okay? Some people like to follow leaders. Some people like to mix in or blend in with the energy. Virgo, you are someone who will come in and act in the way that you want to, regardless of what the circumstance may want from you. And this is what makes you unique. Okay? There's some type of unique quality inside of you that you came and you performed and you showed up and you showed people a different mode of existence. And this different mode of existence that you have taught people makes you unforgettable because you were able to see outside the box. You were able to do something they previously didn't do or see or even conceive. Virgo, there's something that you did that made you unforgettable. And it has something with your knowledge, your energy, or the way that you are able to remedy, fix, service, or help in some type of way that has forever made you unforgettable. Let's get into the energy, Virgo, because I feel like this is going to be really prevalent in this reading. I feel like where others want to be arrogant and boastful, okay, and mean and nasty and want to guard their territory, you were more loving, okay, deeply affectionate. All right. And you could have been loving and deeply affectionate in a cold place. And that's why you got recognized. This is what I mean. Yeah, usually people come in talking, but we all know that whoever talks the loudest, right, just wants to be heard. And I feel like you spoke volumes with your actions instead of your words, okay, in a cold place, in a place where everybody was used to people showing up in this type of energy, where a place where everybody was used to an ego, a way of being. You showed up in that same environment the way you were meant to. 333. And that's what truly makes you unforgettable. People recognized you. Okay, so you're getting recognition that yes, we are a product of our environment, but there is things that you can do to your environment that makes a better product. Amen. Can the church say amen? I feel like Virgo, people wanted to get away with blaming the environment, blaming society, blaming social norms, but you were willing to change the environment to get a better product instead of just taking the product that they wanted you to. See, this is what I mean. The product, the environment is cold. So this is the product of a cold environment, right? But you were put in that same cold environment and you started a fire. You made it warm, you made it homely. You didn't do what everybody else did. You changed the environment, you changed the atmosphere. And this is what makes you unforgettable because other people didn't have that thought process. They didn't think to change the environment to get a better product. And now, because of this, you have made enemies because you are so unforgettable, Virgo, because of your qualities, Virgo, because of your polymathistic characteristics. that come in and challenge authority, automatically, Virgo, people became your enemy because they were okay with the environment and the products. Because in this environment, they could be nasty, they could be mean, they could do what they want. But in your new environment, Virgo, people recognize that this is the choice. It's a choice and it's easily fixable. And I feel like because you can fix things that people want to keep as the norm, you became the enemy because you were going to bring success to everybody. You were going to raise the vibration of everybody, and people were anxious and depressed about everybody getting success because the more success that everybody gets takes away from individual success. And this is what somebody likes, the cock of the block. Okay, they like the environment cold, barren. Okay, they liked being the one who had all the money and everybody else be poor. This is like some Marie Antoinette, let them eat cake type of energy, right? The environment was poor because there was one person, you feel me, who was walking around in a fragrant outfit. Okay, there was one person reaping all the fruit. Okay, getting all the women. There was one cock in the block, right? But you came in and you showed everybody that we can get success in our own right. We can all get that type of recognition. But when everybody starts getting that recognition, it takes away from whoever this was. Okay? And this is why you have created enemies, Virgo, because you have normalized and humanized the environment. No more will we just go on with things because it's the norm. You are showing people that we make the norm. Okay? We make the vibe. We create the environment. We create the product. We're in charge. And this is making you unforgettable to those who were yearning for a voice. And it's making you unforgettable for those who didn't want people to have voices. Okay? So wherever you're going, Virgo, whatever you are doing is creating waves. You may be helping people, but you're also creating waves for people who are benefiting off of those people suffering. Oof. So you're a problem. You're a problem. All right. And because you're a problem, it makes you a target. So know that every single room you go into, Virgo, you are unforgettable. Okay? Continue to be your unforgettable, unique self. Continue to raise atmospheres and change the environment. Continue to come in and overthrow groups, okay? Legions, gangs of evil people. They wanted to keep something evil. 808. They wanted to keep inheriting, they wanted to keep giving the seat to evil people so evil things can continue to happen. But you came in, overthrowing the seating, okay? Overthrowing the way that things were supposed to go. There's something here about nepotism, okay? Or like the theory about how all the presidents were secretly related. It's something like the person who was in charge was placed by somebody else who wanted them in charge so they could keep this evil going. But Virgo, you may be being placed in an environment to dethrone people in charge by teaching them that the evil people that are in charge are just the middleman. Okay? Because these people may think they're in charge, but we all know who's really in charge, right? God, universe, 9/11, God, universe. We all know that we're in a war, we're in an environment of energy. And we all know who's the source of the energy, Virgo. There are people who take authority, they take positions of power because they have knowledge on how to trick people into giving them power. But you know that all power comes from source. So it takes the power away from these people. And this is what makes people want to destroy you because you being in the environment destroys them. So now you're a target. Now people want to hurt you. Okay, now people want you to get away from the group, get away from the environment, because you naturally dethrone evil positions. You naturally get rid of negative energy. 1010, you naturally dethrone demons. Demons who smile in your face. Demons who you know only has power because God is allowing them to have power for a period of time. And that you were sent there to knock them down. See, some of you have not recognized that this is your calling, this is your life path, that God keeps putting you in environments full of evil people so that you can knock down person after person after person. You just think you're there shooting. You just think you're there doing your job. You just think you're there living life. But in reality, you have been set there to dethrone people. All right? This was what truly makes you unforgettable, because you are not subjugated to the same evil powers that these people use over others, because you know who source is. You know where power comes from. You're not afraid of oogly boogly. You don't give power to it ever. So let's get into Virgo. And I feel like unforgettable. Virgo is unforgettable. You cannot forget who source energy is. You can't forget who saved you, who found you, who changed you, who called you, who molded you, who predestined you to be here. You have already been tapped in on some knowledge that is unforgettable in every single way. So no matter what happens to you, you steadfast in a foundation that is unbreakable. Okay, no matter how much evil people they take and put against you, you will still believe in source. And that type of thing is unforgettable, it's unbreakable. They can't destroy it. We got Gryffindor, help others. I'm telling you, you're here to serve. You're here to help others. Okay? You've been placed in the house to help others. Now we're getting into Harry Potter references. 1222. If you scroll backwards a little bit in this video, we were talking about Slytherin, okay? Slytherin, the group of Slytherin. Those are the evil ones. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the clock, Virgo. You're in the group of helpers, okay? You do not choose to be evil. In an environment where you can choose to be evil and hurt people and manipulate, you choose to be a helper. Because you know the truth. You know what source is. You know what the truth in source is, and that is that we are all connected. All right, and what you do to others will happen to you one way or another. So in an environment where others choose to be evil, you choose to help. Again, one of your unforgettable qualities. 1313 on the clock. It's Gryffindor energy. In flow state, smiling ear to ear. And we have karma, like to follow us heavy. This is the energy that I'm in. In an environment where it is trying to produce a cold, rigid, hard, angry, disgusting person, you show up loving, helpful, full of knowledge, malleable, in flow state, connected to what? Source energy. This is my card of source energy. In flow state, smiling ear to ear, getting meals of the sun. Literally understanding and ingesting the knowledge of life. This is you knowing that connection to source makes you happy. Connection to source takes care of all your problems. God will bring you karma. Okay, what you do happens to you. You understand karma, the laws of karma. You understand the laws of karma so much that it's unforgettable. That is why you show up, and that is why you are the way that you are, because you understand and you've been taught a lesson that is unforgettable. The more that you help others, the more that you help others connect to source, the more good karma follows you. You've learned and decoded everything that you're supposed to do in this world. That's to play your sim and connect people to source. so more people can play the sim source instead of living in confusion, being grouped up and taken advantage of by the slithering. I hope I'm making sense. If I'm making sense, y'all put a sun emoji in the comments down below. If you know what I'm talking about, okay? Put a sun emoji, please. We have mystic woman in the reverse. We have soul powers. Wow. Okay. So this is the first time mystic woman came out in the reverse. There's a false divine feminine out here, okay, who is not connected to source. And I feel like you are helping others connect to source. Wow. That weren't connected to source. Virgo, there are evil people in the slithering group who are not connected to source. They're connected to a dark source that makes them manipulate other people instead of helping other people because they don't understand the laws of karma. They don't understand the laws of this world. They don't understand anything. They're not connected to source. So they group up, and they become Slytherin. They use manipulation instead of consciousness. They use spell work instead of intuition. They use graveyard dirt instead of praying to your ancestors. These are those types of people, Virgo. And I feel like you're helping people connect to source just by being who you are. You're giving knowledge to disconnected people just by showing up and being who you are. And this is the only thing that you're supposed to do. All right. And these people who are not connected to source may see you show up in this energy and want to attack you. That's because you're deconstructing their whole mode of existence. And you're showing them that everything that they have been doing is the exact opposite of what they should do. And that's a hard pill to swallow, Virgo. But when you step into the room, people start to recognize that. When you step in and you be who you are and you start shining the light on people, they start understanding that they're not connected to the same thing that you are, which is spirit and truth. Ooh, hallelujah. Some of you are deeply rooted in spirituality and truth, Virgo. Okay? The Holy Ghost, all of it. We have vacation. Virgo, you help others overcome the energy that is produced. You help others overcome the environment that is produced by other people who are not connected to their consciousness. This is why you're unforgettable, because you're placed in an environment to show everybody how to overcome the people who are not connected to their higher consciousness. See, a lot of these people were just suffering in silence. A lot of these people kept their head down because they didn't know how to overthrow this oppression. But you're brought in to help people find flow state in oppression, showing that oppression cannot oppress you unless you allow it to. Because Virgo, you can go into an oppressive environment and dismantle the oppression. Let me tell you how. Let me tell you how. Okay? You could go into a work environment, all right? And they're low key racist. They're low key racist. And they don't want to acknowledge that they're racist. But you come in, a person of color. This is just an example. A person of color getting the job that other people would have gotten just because of their skin tone, right? And then there's a time and a place to appoint somebody. And you have way more knowledge and skill than somebody else, but they're the right skin color. And then there's someone who gets picked over you. And you understand it's because of racism. You understand it's because of the environment. You understand it's because these people were put on top and somebody is allowing them to have that position. So instead of crying, leaving, you speak up. Congratulations on that job. I notice it's a trend that this position is held by all white people. And I think that, that's okay, but what I'm going to do will transform this business. When I get that position, I will make sure that there's more people of color in that position. And although you didn't get that position, the things that you said, the way that you acted, the words that you spoke in an environment full of quiet people shook people to the core. It was hard to not notice that after you said something. So even though they got to perpetuate the problem, everyone seen the problem. And once you spot the problem, it's harder to keep that problem going because everybody knows that there's a solution. Everybody knows that there's a better way. Everybody sees that it's racism now. And although we can't per se change it immediately, we have now been awoken to there being a problem. And this is what is the problem that you cause, Virgo. This is the unforgettable energy that you bring. Because although you may not overthrow authority that one day, that one year, that the lifespan that you're connected to this environment, but you sure as fuck make a wave, stir the pot, illuminate the truth. Some of you get hell bent on changing your environment because you see that you can, but you don't even know that you being there is the subtle thing that changes the environment over a period of time. Whew, news is on the way. What's in flow state, smiling ear to ear? Some of you could be meditating. Ooh, woo, whoo. Lord have mercy, Virgo. This is you standing tall under opposition. I'm telling you, you show up in oppressive environments and you help others overcome oppression. You show up in oppressive environments under trouble and accusations because of the energy that you bring. I'm telling you, you're a disruptor. And people like to cause trouble and accusations for a disruptor to get them taken out. But they can't get you taken out if you do nothing wrong. So all you have to do is continue to be in flow state, and your presence over time will cause a fire in trouble and accusations. See, when you are placed in an environment, people are going to start talking about you, gossiping, trying to get you in trouble, trying to get you out of it, trying to remove you because you're a natural disruptor. And when they figure out that they can't remove you, Virgo, they know that they're going to be seen for being the disruptor. So this is why so many people try to get you out of places, get you fired. All right, throw dirt on your name, lie on you. That's because if they can't get you out of the environment, they know that you're going to change the environment. And the same troubles and accusations that they put on you will come back to them. And this is what they don't understand. This is why they should be careful, because you were placed in that environment to do exactly what you're doing. You were given characteristics, you were giving knowledge, you were giving wisdom to be placed in an environment for this purpose. And people take risks. Yeah, people take risks by trying to come against what you were destined to do. This could be a man. This could be a man who should have listened to his intuition about you, but they weren't connected to their divine feminine. Okay? They did not understand. They allowed someone else, a slithering energy, to come in between what you were placed in the environment to do. And that was to bring success, Virgo. You were supposed to bring spiritual development. You were supposed to open doors of opportunity. But instead, this person allowed you to be pushed out. They allowed some type of vow or a partnership to be broken. Okay? Because the people who are watching you and gossiping about you, this is crazy. And now they're seeing the truth. There's someone here. You were unforgettable, Virgo. You were placed in an environment. It was probably for a short period of time because everybody got mad when they saw you coming, right? You were placed in an environment to wake people up, to help them, but there were people who were not connected to their intuition. So they allowed the evil slithering group to manipulate them into doing what they do because they saw that that was working. They weren't connected to their intuition to know that you were here to help. Okay? So now someone knows for a fact, oh, that's why you're unforgettable. There's someone here who was in an environment with you who didn't listen to you, who wasn't connected to spirituality and truth, but now they are. And now they realize that they didn't listen to their intuition. Okay? And they can't forget about you. They can't forget about the time where they had a chance to listen to their intuition and they didn't. They can't forget about the time where they could have been connected to spirit and truth, and instead of being connected to spirit and truth, they decided to be evil. They decided to deal with this woman who isn't connected to spirituality and truth. This could be a white woman with a bob, okay? They decided to go with someone else who is evil, all right? But it says fair woman, and we know that evil people often look fair, right? And good people often look crazy, meditating and hugging trees and helping others. Yeah, okay? We have pleasure with a close up friend. We have announcement. We have dealing or relationship with a younger woman. We have disappointment in a lover or an affair. We have balance, someone trying to get you to go against it in situation needs careful handling. Virgo, there's someone here who truly believes that you were unforgettable. They had the pleasure, they had the pleasure to interact with you close up in an environment. You announced who you were and why you were here, and they disappointed you in order to keep some type of balance with this energy. Because this person knew that evil people were in control. They knew that people were getting away with stealing, robbing, and they knew that going against these people would mess up their balance. So they chose to stay balanced and stay with the evil people instead of going with what was announced about your energy. Your energy announced who you were, why you were here. And now they're disappointed that they kept balance with this evil group who wants to work against them instead of overthrowing them with you. So now there's someone who is under oppression by this evil slithering group because they no longer want to be a part of it. They see what you're talking about, but it's way too late. You're not there to help them. You've already left this environment because of troubles and accusations. And now they're thinking you're unforgettable in every way. Yeah, time to act. Yeah, the time to act was when they were close up with you, when you were there to help overthrow this evil group. But now you're not there, okay? And now they're fighting on their own, thinking about how unforgettable you were. This is like somebody stuck in an environment. Yeah, Tower in the Chariot. This is like that sudden realization. Um, This is like somebody stuck in an environment that they could have changed. All right. There's someone stuck in an environment that they could have had authority over. They could have reigned over that environment with you. But instead, they allowed the evil people to keep power. And now they're stuck in an environment where evil people are their authority. So it's like you were brought in to help them get out of that. And they were like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep doing evil stuff because the evil people are winning. All right? But that allowed the environment to stay evil. What's this energy? Why are we talking about this unforgettable energy for Virgo? Yeah, the Queen of Cups. You're definitely unforgettable, Virgo. The love, the unconditional love, the connection with spirits, your intuition, your knowing, how you could just sense and pick up on things, recognize, see clearly. Yeah, there's someone who's fucked up over your energy. King of Swords, unforgettable in every way. All right. So with the Queen of Cups to the Eight of Cups to the Two of Swords, Virgo, I feel like you really wanted to help somebody here. With this Queen of Cups, you really wanted to love somebody, but you had to walk away because there was no helping or loving someone out of a situation. With the Ten of Swords to the Four of Cups, you were not going to stay in the frying pan, right? You were going to go where it was fruitful, where it was positive. So as soon as people started putting you in the frying pan, as soon as people started blaming you and ganging up on you, you were like, this is where I take my leave, right? With the Ten of Swords, somebody let you leave. They either started throwing dirt on your name, started stabbing you in the back too, or they let you leave knowing that you were there to help. Four of Cups. They missed their opportunity to solve their own problems because they let you leave. And now they're thinking about this. It's unforgettable how they could have changed their environment. Yeah, the Empress, how they could have changed their environment with the divine feminine. But instead, they allowed their environment to stay the way that it was. And now they're trapped in it. Ten of Swords, Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. Someone could have stopped this betrayal, but they didn't. They could have stopped the troubles and accusations. They could have stopped the attack on you at any time. Instead, they attacked you with these people. And now they realize the weight of doing this because now they're trapped in the environment that you were sent to change. So nothing is fruitful. They invested in evil people and it got them nowhere. The evil people who are on top are no longer on top. It was a bad investment to invest in evil, to invest in betrayal, because they didn't get anything back. This is what I was talking about, the laws of karma. You came in the environment sowing good karma by trying to help others. This person came in the environment sowing bad karma, trying to hurt you like everybody else was, not knowing that this was the moment where they could have overthrown the environment. Now they're stuck there under oppression over and over again. With the Tower to the Ace of Pentacles, this person is suddenly realizing that you were the opportunity to change their generation, to change the community, to change their life, to change everything. This was it. And now that's all they can think about. Unforgettable in every way. Four of Swords, they can't forget this. They can't mentally process something. They can't heal from something. This person may have to distance themselves from these evil people after investing in something that did not work. Eight of Swords, Four of Wands, the Hermit, and the Death card. Now you're unforgettable, Virgo. This person is tore up mentally. They're unable to get past this. The Four of Wands and the Hermit. They're unable to get past the fact that you came in as a portal, as an opening. You came in to open up ancient doors and ancient gates. You were placed to create a major transformation. Nine of Wands in the reverse. And with the Nine of Wands in the reverse, Virgo, this person is realizing that they destroyed their way out by targeting you with these people. What's the Nine of Pentacles to the Three of Wands? The Fool to the Five of Wands. Hangman, a different perspective. Yeah. Virgo, you came in as a portal with all your wisdom and knowledge. Now we're going back to the beginning. You came in as a portal with all your wisdom and knowledge that would have helped transform this anarchy, this this environment that is making people slave, work hard, suffer for no reason. You came in broadening it, bringing change, showing everybody that you can independently bring towards some type of change in the environment. And this is what caused this person to turn on you. Because when you started talking about the changes that you can make to the environment to make sure that everybody wins individually, the people who are in charge did something, started something to change the perspective about you and why you're here, so other people would not go along with this change. And this is what stopped divine intervention. And this is how it was supposed to go, Virgo. Because the person who wasn't connected to their intuition only knew they weren't connected to their intuition when they had proof that there was a better way. And this is exactly what you were. Proof of a better way. But as you came in with such controversy, changing the norm, someone had a decision. They had a decision. Look, they had a decision who to give to, which one would be successful, which one would pay out. And they didn't allow their emotions for you to change the illusion for them. So there's somebody who is in an environment, and this person is the type of person who goes into the environment and they adapt to the illusion. Okay? You're the type of person who goes into the environment and you see it clearly. All right? But this is someone who went into the environment and they fell for the illusion, allowing Slytherin, allowing the evil group to get them under oppression. And you woke this person up to this. And this is why you're so unforgettable. See, Virgo, you may not know this because people may never admit it to you, but you have changed their viewpoint. You've changed their stance in life. You've changed the way they perceive things, the way that they move, the way that they act, just based off of how you moved and acted in that same environment. And although you leave people behind, you leave environments behind, you leave a long lasting impression on people that is unforgettable in every single way. And I feel like hindsight is 2020 when it comes to your spiritual powers, because people don't even know the type of knowledge that you're giving them, the type of wisdom that you're giving them, the type of help that you're giving them till after it's gone. And in this song, Virgo, there's one line that really stood out in this song. And it says that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too. I feel like, Virgo, you're used to going to environments where people don't see what you're trying to do. They don't understand the wisdom. They don't understand the love behind the encouragement, the love behind the nagging, the love behind the teaching until you're gone. But a lot of you are about to step into environments where there are people who are just as awake as you are, or who will see your worth. And it won't be afterwards, Virgo. But there are a lot of people that you have left behind that are now seeing, karma. They're now, you bring changes to people's lives. You bring changes to the environment. And there's now people who realize that, but there's also a change for you. You have done your job and gone to places where people don't believe you, but I feel like you're about to be placed in an environment full of people just like you. Yeah, you're about to step into a new experience. No longer will you be placed in environments where people don't recognize your genius. No longer will you be placed in scenarios where your wisdom isn't appreciated. You're about to step into a new career where people don't want you there. But instead of leaving and backing down because of troubles and accusation, you're going to show strength and fortitude. It really changed the environment like you were supposed to. Or you're about to help other people step into this. Because there's some type of false appearances. Whew. There's some type of false appearances, losses with the Four of Coins, instability, okay, that is happening for people, and you know how to fix it. Oh, shit. We're going back to the beginning of the reading, Virgo. There was a group of evil people who were in charge, and they thought that they ran you out of the environment. Oh, Lord. This is why you're going to truly be unforgettable. Y'all are not hearing me. There was people who ran you out of an environment because they didn't want you to change it. And they created a narrative about you so you get pushed out of the environment. What they don't know was you being pushed out of the environment was the trigger that made everybody else see them for who they are. So this environment is about to be destroyed, and you're about to be appointed to a position because people remember how fair you were, how loving and unconditionally you moved in that environment. Y'all are not hearing me. You're about to be brought back to a place that you were once pushed out of, that you were once, your spiritual calling was once cut short. You're about to be pushed back into that environment. But this time, everybody knows who you are because the first time that you were there, you were shown and proven to be exactly what the fuck you said you were. And now when you're put back into this environment, Virgo, will be undeniable who you are, what you came to do, and what you are capable of doing. And there will be a whole lot of people who will be pushed out of the environment that you were once pushed out of, that will know that this was a long time coming. The first time you stepped foot in that environment, these people knew you were a problem. They thought that they got rid of a problem. But what they didn't realize, but that was just the beginning. They don't even know that you're about to be placed back into that environment to overthrow the whole thing. This is the energy that I have for you, Virgo. If you resonate with anything here, please give me a like, comment down below. Subscribe to the channel and see what's coming up next to the Virgos. And you already know I'm very grateful and thankful for everybody watching.